How's it going, everybody? David Hedge here, House Hedge Gaming. And as we all know, the weather is getting warmer now. The birds are chirping, the sun is shining, and that means one thing. A lot of us will be getting ready to go on our own adventures as the spring and summer months are upon us. Whether it be to concerts, sporting events, conventions, there is a plethora of adventures that we can all go on. And today I want to share with you some tips and tricks that I've learned over the years, not just by going on my own adventures, but by working at the Berglund Center as an event supervisor as well. So without any further ado, let's get started. All right, I got my notepad here with all of my stuff I wrote down past couple of days so I can do this video. And I got a Rockstar Punched, not a sponsor, to help me get through, because after this video, I got a lot more stuff I got going on today. But today, I was thinking about, and I've done this video before, and it's mainly been around conventions like GenCon, PAX East, Origins, DragonCon, things like that. But since I've been working at the Berglund Center, I can actually give a little bit more information for other events, like I said at the top of the video, whether it be for concerts or sporting events, stuff like that, to help you on your adventures. So, first thing you want to do if you're going on an adventure is that if it's a big event that you need a ticket or a badge for, make sure you purchase it. That may sound weird, but a lot of people just wait until last minute to purchase, and then they can't get their ticket or they can't get their badge. And not only that, but when they try to get tickets or badges, they'll go through a third-party site. I can tell you this from experience right now, if you can, avoid a third-party site. Chances are you might be in trouble because some people will just buy one ticket and then they'll sell that same ticket like 5 or 10 times on a third-party site, and you could end up being in trouble for it. Not legal trouble, but you can end up spending a lot of money and not being able to get that money back. I've seen it happen several times to people, and it stinks that there's people that do that kind of thing with a ticket. But hopefully, when you buy your badge or buy your ticket, you either A, go through the site that you're getting, the event you're going to. Whether it be for GenCon, you're going through GenCon's website. If you're going to a concert at a venue, make sure you go to that venue's website. So for example, with Berglund, it's Berglund Center Live. The official ticket website that we use is eTix. So if you go to Berglund Center Live or eTix, you got a guaranteed purchase of your ticket, no problem. If you go to a third-party site and you lose your ticket or the ticket doesn't scan, unfortunately, there's not much that venue can do for you because it's a third-party site, and there's not really a chance to look up to see how you pay for your ticket or anything like that because it's not going to be in their system. And the same thing could be true for, like I said, a convention, a concert, a sporting event, all those things. So when you're buying your tickets and buying your badges for events, make sure that you pay attention to what their official ticket site is, or you go through their website themselves, or if you can, just go in person and pick up your badge or pick up your tickets. That way you can save some convenience fees too if you're able to. If for some reason you can't really go and you want to find a cheaper way to go to an event, and this mainly goes for conventions, try to volunteer. There are a lot of companies that are looking for volunteers to promote a game, promote a product, to help with a sales booth, anything like that. And that way you can get into the event. Chances are you're getting your ticket covered, you're going to get your hotel covered, you're going to get a lot of swag, and it'll be really beneficial for you to do so. Now, granted, yes, you do use up your time. You do give time to that booth, but the rest of the time is your own. Take it from me, I did this last year at GenCon, working with True Dungeon. It was a great experience. I was able to get a schedule to where I worked at night, but during the day, I was able to check out the convention center, and it all worked out perfectly. You can see the videos from last year. I had a blast with it, and I can't wait to work with True Dungeon again in the future. No matter what, the venue you're going to, especially for concerts and for sporting events and Broadway plays, things like that, this doesn't really apply to conventions because a lot of people bring huge bags and everything. especially us gamers. Like, we'll bring like bags and totes and carts of stuff. But for concerts and everything, be aware of the bag policy. A lot of venues have gone to a clear bag policy, which means that you have to have a bag that is completely see-through, or it has to be a bag of a certain size. So it's like basically by 8, like a smaller than an 8 by 11.5 sheet of paper. If you bring those, you're fine. If you bring like some big tote bag of preparing for a trip across the desert, but you're only going to a concert that's lasting 2 hours, chances are they won't let you in. So make sure whatever venue you go to, always check to see what their bag policy is so you can be prepared when you get ready to visit that venue on your adventure. Okay, we've covered tickets, we've covered badges, and we covered bag policies. Now let's talk about hotels. Because trust me, recently a hotel definitely messed me up a little bit, and I'll get into that. But when you're booking a hotel, again, beware of third-party sellers. Somebody like bookings.com, personally, I haven't had any problems with it. But on occasion, there can be some miscommunication between the hotel and the third-party seller to where you don't have all the information that you need. Prime example of this. Back in March, I went to go to the AEW Revolution pay-per-view in Greensboro, North Carolina. The hotel that I chose on bookings was a nice hotel, had great reviews. The only problem was it was going through a tremendous renovation and the place was completely tore up. There was a lot of stuff that was faulty with it. The furniture was not the best. And it's stuff that luckily it was just for one night. We were able to deal with it. But if it had been an event like, say, if you're going to a concert that you're going to be out for a few days, or a sporting event or something like that, or even conventions where you're gone for a week, you want to make sure that you have a nice hotel to go back to, even if it is just to sleep for a few hours, because you don't want to sleep somewhere and you're lying in bed and next thing you know, like the bed just falls and you fall out of bed or anything. Or if you sit down, there's only 3 or 4 legs available for a chair. You definitely don't want to have that happening. So when you book your hotel, no matter if it's between a third-party seller or the main site itself, give them a call and check to make sure any renovations are happening. If they are, you might want to reconsider getting that hotel and save yourself some headache, especially if they're doing some jackhammering or just nailing up boards or anything like that, because that might interrupt your relaxation that you wish to have in your hotel room. Now, for Cindy and I this year for GenCon, our hotel is going to have a kitchen. And if you have the opportunity to have a kitchen or at least a refrigerator in your hotel room, utilize it. That can actually help you out to possibly make it a little bit easier for you when it comes to foods while you're on the road, while you're at your event. So for us, we're going to have a full kitchen. That means we'll be able to cook some stuff in the hotel room. And we'll have a refrigerator, so we'll be able to have like a lot of stuff for lunches and breakfast there, ready to go. We just got to do a shopping trip at the grocery store. But other than that, we'll be fine. So that way we won't be eating out as much that we would be if we didn't have a hotel in or a kitchen in the hotel. I need to get another sip of this energy drink because, Lord, my brain's already starting to mess up. I still got a lot to go. Again, Rockstar Punch, not a sponsor. And thank you, Rhett and Link from Good Mythical Morning, for saying that, because I'm going to take it. I do take a lot of stuff from different videos, but as an old saying goes, if you take from one person, it's stealing. If you take from multiple people, it's research. So I'm good. All right. One other thing to think about when you're traveling, if you go by car, make sure you have your parking taken care of. Make sure you know where parking spots are, how much they are, and if you can book it in advance, go for it. There's an app that I used last year. I think it was like spots.com. And I'll include a link on the description of the video. And that basically helps you reserve parking spots in the bigger cities. I didn't have to do that last year, since luckily I was able to get hotel parking at the event. So I didn't have to worry about that. And it was a little bit cheaper than the spot parking itself. But make sure you have your parking taken care of and do your research. So that way you're not getting caught blindsided with like, all right, parking, $50 a day. Oh, good Lord. I've seen people have that happen to where they don't plan for parking and they end up spending about $250 to $300 just on parking for X number of days. And that really eats into your merchandise money and your game money when you go to a convention. So make sure you check out your parking, have it reserved along with your hotel. And then after you get your badges and all that stuff, then we get to go on to what you need to prepare for when you go to your event. Okay, so when you're packing for your adventure, number one, make sure if you had your tickets or badges emailed to you or mailed to you, emailed you're fine, but mailed to you, make sure you have them packed up. There have been times where people will forget their tickets. They can get them reprinted, that's fine. But they'll forget their convention badges, and 9 times out of 10, they gotta pay a replacement fee. Save yourself the headache. Make sure you have an envelope that says convention tickets and badges or concert tickets, whatever, labeled so you're good to go to grab those when you start packing. That actually helped me out a few years ago. When we had our friends Sorrel and Wesley join us, I had everybody's individual packets. Yeah, I overbooked it. When they had everybody's individual packets, all their event tickets, their badges, everything laid out, ready to go for them. So all I had to do is just pick up the 4 envelopes, throw it into the bag, and I was all set. Now, when it comes to event tickets, especially for conventions, I'm going to lump this in here instead of doing like a separate section. Make sure you look at what events are going on and make sure you lay out the convention hall as well. So you have an idea of what's happening at the convention you're going to, or even concerts, because concerts will have so many different vendors there. Sporting events can have them too, especially like bigger events. Like, for example, WWE just recently had WrestleMania. There's so much to do there. They had WWE World, which was like this gigantic separate part that was like history and shopping areas and stuff like that. You want to make sure you're prepared for that. So if you have like a printout of different vendors you want to go check out, or different games you're wanting to look for and the vendors they're at, or you have event tickets for certain things you want to do while you're there, make sure you have those packed up as well. Make sure you have your itinerary ready, because when you get there, you're going to definitely want it handy and ready to go. Also, when packing, and this may sound a little bit weird, and this may sound like number one thing you should pack, but it's stuff that I've forgotten, and I actually had a few people bring this up last year too when I did this video, and I wanted to incorporate it. So make sure when you're packing, if you're taking medications, make sure you take them. If you have, make sure you pack emergency toiletries and the first aid kit, because you never know what's going to happen to you and what's going to happen to a restroom that you come across. So make sure you have like a little packet of like toilet paper, wipes, things of that nature. For the hotel, make sure you bring some extra towels. Sometimes they get really stingy with the towels, especially with a big event happening. There's only so many towels that the hotel has. Make sure you bring your own. Bring yourself a nice comfy pillow if you don't want to have the too firm or extremely too soft pillows that they have at the hotel. So make sure you have all that with you. And for conventions or even waiting in line for concerts or events, make sure you take yourself some snacks, because you want to make sure you keep your energy up so you can get into the event and be able to enjoy it and not be just so worn down. And plus, the snacks will be able to help out to not only keep your energy up, but it might also steer you away from spending a whole lot at the convention center or at the stadium, where there's food stands can definitely be a lot pricier than most. Trust me. You can look at the ones from WWE and the ones where they were in Philly this past month, and their stands at that stadium was selling like a hot dog and a drink for like $22. I'm good. I'll take me some snacks and I'll eat them in line, and then I'll be ready to roll. And hopefully you'll be able to take them in. If not, then yeah, you may have to get a hot dog if you get hungry. Usually for those kind of events, I'll just have like a pretty good meal before going in. That way I can get a little bit more bang for my buck somewhere else, or I'll just fix it in the hotel before I go out. Next up, while you're packing, make sure to do some research in the area that you're going to be in and what restaurants are there. Once you do that, see if you can pick up some gift cards along the way. Now, the gift cards you can pick up like from Walmart or from Kroger, and you can get some Kroger gas points. You can save yourself a little bit on gas too. But get yourself some gift cards for the surrounding areas, restaurants that you can go to, and you can already have that taken care of. And you don't have to worry about budgeting for that. So, for example, with Indianapolis, with GenCon, there's a PF Chang's. I'll make sure to get a gift card to PF Chang's, so I have most of that covered for all of us. Or a gift card for Steak and Shake because there's Steak and Shake there. A gift card for Hooters because there's a Hooters there. All these different places that I can get gift cards from. If I'm able to do that, then, like I said, I'll just go to Kroger, spend like $25, $50 a paycheck, and have it ready to go leading up to the event. Finally, when you're packing, make sure not only you have your credit cards, make sure you not only have your debit card and your driver's license, especially if you're driving, but make sure you have cash, because as always, cash is king. Sometimes at these event stadiums, whether it be for, like, a prime example, GenCon in Indianapolis for the longest period of time had one of the spottiest receptions when it came to credit card machines. So you want to make sure you carry cash with you just in case a credit card machine's down. If there's something you want, and then they go, oh, I'm sorry, I can't sell this to you because, well, our machine's down. Then you're able to have cash in hand, ready to go, be able to give it to them, and you'll be all set. This way, you can also have emergency cash just in case, like, your card gets locked out because you forgot to notify the bank that you were going out of town and all that stuff too. So carry a little extra cash with you. Not a whole bunch. I'm not talking about Scrooge McDucking it and having like 2 big bags or anything like that. But just have a little bit of cash with you just in case of emergency or in case the credit cards machines don't work at that event at the time you want to purchase something. Because I've seen that happen plenty of times, and trust me, it'll save you a little bit of time too. Okay, so we got everything done. We got the tickets, we got the hotel, we got packed. Now here's some reminders for you for the event itself. Number 1, make sure you stay hydrated and eat. Yes, I know that sounds stupid, but hear me out. There have been a lot of times where you go to a convention or a concert or sporting event, and you're all hyped up, you're excited, you got the adrenaline flowing, you have so many different games you want to check out, or your team's doing well, or they're playing your favorite song, anything of that nature. And you just completely forget to drink water, and you forget to eat. That can wear you down tremendously. I had a friend of mine who was at this is years ago, for Versus system for the pro circuit. They qualified for the main event itself, for the actual pro circuit event. It was a 2-day thing. He was able to get through day 1, but day 2, he forgot to eat and he forgot to drink water. And by halfway through the day, he was completely sick. And so make sure, especially if you're running around a lot, drink your water, have some snacks, make sure to eat. Because you want to keep your strength up and you want to make sure you have that going for you, combined with your adrenaline and everything. And if you're on the go, you want to make sure you keep your energy going and you don't just want to crash and just go, and then you don't have a good time at your events. So make sure you stay hydrated, eat. Trust me, I do. Next, make sure to not overschedule yourself. Don't run yourself ragged at your event. For concerts, you can be running around, you can be doing all sorts of things and get in line and go and jump around at your concert. For sporting events, you can go from tailgate to tailgate to tailgate. You're definitely going to be eating at those tailgates, but at the same time, you're also expanding a lot of energy too, to where if you get into the arena, it might just wear you down to the point to where you're not even enjoying yourself, whether you get to like the 4th period of a football game or you get into the bottom of the 9th or anything like that. So make sure you plan out some breaks so you can get a breather. And especially now with a lot of us still coming out of the pandemic era that we went through for a few years, getting into an event or getting into a venue with so many people confined inside of it can definitely get you really nervous and anxious. And there's a lot of places now that include quiet rooms where you can just go in, decompress, take a breather, relax in the quiet before you go back out into the masses. So make sure you know where those rooms are, because if you need them, trust me, they come in handy GenCon has several of them throughout the event itself, and they definitely help out to make sure that you are able to just decompress for a little bit, and then you can go back out and give it another go. While you're at your event, and this could be for anything, try something new. So for us gamers and all, we try a new board game or a new card game. For concert goers and sporting events and Broadway shows, stuff like that, try a local eats. Like, don't just go, okay, we got this concert, I'm going to KFC. Nah, don't do that. You can go to KFC at home. Check out some of the local cuisine or some of the local attractions while you're at that city. So for Cindy and I, a few years ago, we went to the Indianapolis State Fair. We're doing that again this year with Hani. She's never been. Last time we went, our time got cut short because of a thunderstorm. So hopefully we'll be able to get the full experience at the fair without having to worry about running to the car before we got completely drenched in a downpour. So make sure you do some research while you're also getting your gift cards for restaurants, and see what local attractions that you can go to, and just try something new. Check out something, whether it could be something as small as a zoo or a bookshop. It could be like a local food that everybody loves, but you don't really have it at home, things of that nature. Definitely make sure you try that out. Now, the last thing I want to cover, and this is a big one, and I want to take a sip of drink for this one. Not a sponsor. Is no matter where you go, and no matter if it's a concert, a theater play, a sporting event, a convention, whether it be a gaming convention, a horror icons convention, or anything like that, be kind and be courteous. And I know that may sound like common sense, but when we go to conventions, I know we're all excited and we're hyped up on everything. But sometimes we can get too excited and we try to butt in line for an exclusive at the convention, or we have a bunch of stuff we just bought. We're trying to get through a line or trying to get through a crowd, and we're just bumping into people left and right. Like, trust me, as a big guy, and sorry I just zoomed in there, but me being a big guy, I will bump into people. It's going to happen. And I will always make sure to say, excuse me, I'm sorry, are you okay? And I want to check in on people because I just don't want to blow by them and just make it seem like I don't care. Because I do. All of us are there for the same thing. All of us are there to enjoy gaming. All of us are there to enjoy a sporting event, a concert, whatever. We're all there to have a good time. And if somebody is basically being a complete jerk and just bumping into people on purpose, then that can really ruin your time. And for me, I don't want to be that kind of a person. So if I bump into somebody, I'll always say, hey, are you okay? Sorry, I apologize. And 99.9% of the time, they're cool. And they go, hey, no problem, big guy. It's like, awesome. If you are a person, and this goes specifically for comic conventions and gaming conventions, if you have a giant cart that you haul comic books or Warhammer minis or a plethora of games you just bought or a bunch of merchandise, please be courteous with those. Last year, I got hit several times with carts because a person is trying to go from point A to point B, not even paying attention, and they just hit people left and right. There was one person that got hit with a cart. I checked on them because they were starting to get mad, and they're like, "That's no good." And I was like, "Look, are you okay?" And they appreciated somebody at least checking in on them because the other person just kept on walking. And unfortunately, that stuff's going to happen. But I've always been the mind of I don't want to be a person that causes somebody to have a bad time at their event. And I think that's the reason why I love doing the event supervisor stuff at Berglund, because being in that position, I know that people are trying to get away for a few hours, and you want to be able to aid them in that experience, whether they're getting away to watch a wrestling event or a comedy show or things like that. I have the opportunity to add to that experience. I don't want to detract from it. And that's the same thing when I go to a convention. And I always want to be able to add a little bit to it when I can, instead of detracting from it. So if I'm playing a game of cards or a board game, I'll always interact and I'll see if I can crack some jokes and all that and have a good time with the people that I'm playing with. Or if I'm going through a live action role play, I can act like a goof for a few hours and have some fun and make people laugh. I always love making people laugh and smile. My dad always did that, and that's where I got it from. And I love doing it. And hopefully I get to do that with a lot of people this year at GenCon. But just make sure to be kind and be courteous, because we're all going to these events for the same thing. And try to be the person that maybe like, that could be like that one of those shining moments that somebody remembers going, hey, I was having a bad time. Like somebody just hit me with something, but you know what? Somebody checked on me. And you don't get to see that all that often. And I appreciate them for doing it. And trust me, you can make somebody's day a whole lot brighter just by saying, are you okay? All right, there you have it. That's just some tips and tricks that I've learned throughout working at Berglund Center, through all my travels, and I still got plenty more to go. And if you think of anything that I might have missed, or if you want to just add something, please do it in the comments below. And then next year, when I do this video all over again, I'll make sure to add it. It's becoming an annual thing, so hopefully I'll be able to do that, and I'll drink a different energy drink next time to keep me going. Still won't be a sponsor, but I'll keep drinking it. But thank you all so much for checking this video. If you like it, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And let everyone know that House Hedge Gaming is here for all of your gaming needs. So until next time, everyone, stay safe and take care, my friends.